is May 5th, 2023. Yesterday it's still going on. See them for a few of the riffraff this morning. Got rid of a lot of them. I made some statements in my apartment. Apartment's bug, they sold it. Said some things. Some guy walked out of his apartment on the other corner. The red brick apartment off to the side on Chapel Ridge said, "Whoa, we all realize what's going on. Get back in that house," to his wife or girlfriend. We all realize what's going on. See, Dave cannot hire a stalker. He confessed to Danny April 15th or 16th, 23, where I've been trying to tell him where they were looking for Steve and Eric for stalking, and Eric confessed November 18, 22, 2 to 6 p.m. at Walmart 62, that everything was him, and that the police have been looking for these weird stalkers. Where they're framing them, leaving their names on it, got Eric high, had him come in and confess. He had nothing to do with it. Told Danny, I don't know why that guy said he did it. I had hired some guy named Pete on his own to take me unaware and do all those things. Dave can't hire a stalker. The Fourth Amendment over the house. It's not admissible. I went up where they were trying to frame the Portage County sheriffs. Miss Hall, what these people are saying they did is illegal. I said you couldn't look or listen. It's the Fourth Amendment. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life. Yes. And what these people said, and I told them about the sodium pentothal reports, having bruises, throwing up, almost passing out. Somebody was drugging me up there. He said, what these people said they did is illegal. I said, they're supposed to put a shower scene in the other room. And they've confessed to that, too, around people. And people are going to police. What these people said they did is illegal. And it was none of our officers or had knowledge of anybody being in your home. And what they said is they did is illegal. Dave can't hire a stalker because 4 attempts on my life didn't work. He hires a man to kick our door in on the 6th day, set up button cameras, break in and start date rape drugging me, beating me under drugs, waking up with bruises, throwing up, almost passing out in front of the neighbors, not knowing what was going on. I got treated for that by the doctor, and then a personal infection all summer long. Do you know what happened after the 2nd month of having bruises and throwing up? I only had injection marks. So these people are, even Officer Reinhardt in Louisville, you don't realize how illegal it is to watch somebody in their home. Even the FBI can't be in somebody's home outside a protected light case with statements. They would go to jail. You can't hire a stalker because your wife hasn't died on your 4 failed attempts, and have them break in, date rape, drug them so they're sleepwalking. Just like they got Eric high, and where they left his name for years, had several police departments looking for stalking, for saying he was the one, him and that Steve were taping me unaware. Here is just retired Judge Pete on his own. My husband's girlfriend's father. Sex traffic videos of me and Dave in bed. He called it Karen porn. By the time the case started, people said Karen has a rich boyfriend. Started telling everybody he was Will, the agent over my case. That Will, Karen's Will thinks she's beautiful. Karen's Will says to make sure that nothing happens to her while she's out. Told all the men to take care of her. He's an older guy. Drives around all the time. Too afraid to meet her. Isn't that sweet? He considers her his girlfriend. We all know that's Will's girlfriend. How sick is this? This is what serial rapists do. See, after that, I just started having injection marks after the 2nd month. 1 week, I had 8 injection marks. With the date rape drugs, you're a human zombie. Once it takes effect for 4 to 6 hours, you're that man's slave. You'll say, you'll do whatever you're told. They're mind-controlling drugs. I talked to a sheriff, and the sheriff said, with those drugs, they could have told those men to take down those towers and drugged them up and told them to do it, and they didn't even know they did it. It's that bad. This is my serial rapist. Across from my clients on Turquoise Street, we realized they hired a serial rapist to do this to her. He fell in love with me. This is his temper tantrum, having people follow and harass me. I put my refrigerator in front of the door. If I would remove the refrigerator, just lock my door, I'd wake up with an injection mark and the harassment would stop. He's not going to be able to rape me again. I blocked the doors. Because once I started blocking the bedroom doors, harassment started. Anytime that I tried to convince myself I was safe, stop unblocking the doors and just lock them, I'd wake up with an injection mark and the harassment stopped. How sick is he? People, I got weird text messages from weird numbers and perverted messages sent to me. He misses me, Tony. I bet. He called his videos Karen porn. Watching Dave and I make love in bed. Sit there, get hot and flustered, watching porn. Be able to come over, break in, date, rape, drug somebody. He had his own little sex slave. And he fell in love with me. That's how they justify raping somebody with drugs. And they don't know who's doing it to them. See, I'd have a dream all the time. I'd wake up in a fog. A man walked across the room, laid down and held me. And I felt safe and loved in his arm for a second. And the room would go black. I'd wake up and have an injection mark. It's called needling somebody. 45 seconds, you're under their control. There's over 300 date rape drugs they can give you, different combinations, like Xanax and other ones. And they put enough in it, you're just sleepwalking. Just like they got Eric High to come in and confess on November 1822. All the tapes before were me and Hunter. Was my idea to come up with it, my idea to do it, my idea to say it. For all these people to turn on. He had nothing to do with it. They got him high and told him to go confess. Dave freed him. Dave's phone's tapped from the case. That agent opened. See, it's coming down to where did that agent go? You can't just walk out on a case. See, some guy walked by my apartment over the weekend. I listened to the tape of her trying to tell that agent what was going on. He wouldn't listen to her. Where I told him some guy had told on me to pay her the night before. You liar. Dave told Danny there was an agent up at that church asking threats on her life. He said he was only one looking into it from that agency. Huh? Dave said he even talked to him. See, I wasn't lying. Some officer already verified he's seen an agent telling me November 6, 22 at Trinity Gospel. Investigators. There was a cop up there seeing him too. So why would he call me a liar? Tried to tell him about the guy trying to threaten to knife me at Huntington Bank. Was there a camera above the bench? I don't know. You don't know if there was a camera above the bench? You say you're lying or I'll arrest you. I'm like, what? Now, was there a camera above that bench? I'm like, well, he threatened to knife me. I got away from him. He actually tried to kidnap me before. The Pizza Hut lady got paid to watch me, and the banker's yelling at her to stay out of it. Was there a camera above that bench or not? I don't know. Then you better say you're lying or I'll put you in jail. Fine, whatever. That was a Detroit Boys' kidnapper. Had already killed Lori's family member from my other job. Had the same story. Went on to take my house manager's niece, Melissa's niece. They took the girl at the ATM. They took a 15-year-old kid that matched the 5'3", 135 blonde girl special outfit. Another girl's missing from Maslin. I went down and got Chinese food pictures up on the door. They told my house managers, Melissa's drug traders from out of this area, human trafficking people, the Detroit Boys and the Kingsmen, basically. Told you I found the name. Talking to people, I found out the name of them. The Florida plates. Florida's been up here driving around me for the last few days. They're in SUVs this time. Somebody had said the drug dealers are taking turns watching me. See, it's the first of the month. I'm supposed to get $5,000 a month for being an informant for life, for working the case. Being an informant is different than the regular witness protection program. Witness protection program, you testify against somebody and then they change your name and hide you. Cut and dry. Informants, they give you diplomatic immunity for life and $5,000 a month because you actually work like a civilian spy. You feed them information. And when it gets too bad, they pull you out. He left me out there to die. Do you realize he listed me informant, he made me beg for my life. He listed me informant for life for working this case. $5,000 a month. Even when I tell, they'll always put it back as if it never happened. I can't be legally charged for anything again for working this case, and I'll have that money. He was open the account that day, and it we'll keep building. I'll have that money to move on, and from now on, for working the case. $60,000 a year you get for putting your life at risk of all things. Okay? And then he threatened me if I told someone. I already told him Dave knew in the churches. He wouldn't listen to me, and Dave confirmed. He talked to him at Apostolic Church of Rotterdam. So his bad behavior has cost lives. I didn't think he was real. I thought he was a Riri from my ex-husband. So when I'm out, I hear Dave outside talking about Dixie and the baby. But next thing, they had a list of people. I Googled the office. He said he wasn't. A lady answered the phone and yelled out, and I told him that he had a list, and they all out, well, he's got a list. I'm working on it. He heard him. His phone's down. I also called that office when I seen that guy. The men that would follow me would turn off on 224. And I would drive the last 10 miles by myself. How stupid is that? He was down the road from my house. He looked at me, and I looked at him, and he took off through the side woods, and I had a swerve, and I hit the garage door opener, pulled in, hit the garage door closed, went and locked the house. And I called again. He's down the road. He took off through the side woods. Do you know what happened a few weeks later? The gunshot night. They actually broke where they were setting up. It's so dark out there. They actually broke in the duplex next door. They really did go to the wrong house. So he heard Dave. Then he heard me scream for my life when they tried to shoot me in the head driving. Oh my God, don't shoot me. And I'm swerving all over the road, and he's trying to run me off the road. He heard that whole commotion of me almost being shot in the head driving, and that guy trying to run me off the road. He heard it. He heard me pray to God for help. He heard me. Because that happened before that. He didn't pull me out. The next day after, I went down to Walmart. They were arguing. You ought to pull her out. She almost got shot in the head driving. The guy running it won't let you. You have to leave her in high danger. It's illegal to leave somebody in high danger. Same thing with the gunshot night. I got bashed in the head and beat and raped by Pete's kid. Alex, on 12/21/18, made up the lie of the chip to cover up where I go to the refrigerator, they stabbed me in the neck, bashed me in the back of the head, foggy, hazy, dark, bright light, felt myself cry. Woke up 6 hours later in bed, bruises all over me. His comb's on Dave's dresser. Dave's accusing me of having an affair, and I had been bashed in the back of the head, stabbed in the neck, and beaten and raped. They said he raped me that day. Alex did. Took credit for it. And Bob Evans said he left his comb on Dave's dresser. They jumped me at the refrigerator. I still have a dent in my head. Made up the scam of the chip, had people walk by, have their phone ding like I'm a Pokemon. You can puppy chip anybody. But they didn't chip me. They just, like they said, oh my goodness, Judge Pete's kid tried to kill her. He left me for dead. The video in protected custody case 12/21/18. I'm raped and tortured by a fake FBI agent. Because there's 4 or 5 of them saying they're working the case. He told that guy up there said he was the only agent from the agency looking into it on his own. They said he stole the money on the first day. He left me up there to die. Fed me to a drug cartel. You know, I work for this one client in another town, and they were up there trying to tell him they taped me unaware before. They called the cops on him. You know what the police said in that department? No one had a right to tape her unaware in her home. And the cop that went to Dave, see, that's where it didn't make any sense. When things don't make sense, it's Dave. For the agent showing up at the church before I called the agent back. And then, well, that was the agent that I did actually opened up the protective custody case. The officers in uniform call it Karen around the house, or Karen's will. He opened a real protected life case, and an officer, a heavy-set officer with white hair, showed up the next day at Walmart. I just got back from asking Dave about the threats on life. I thought the agent just asked him at the church. Why'd you just go talk to him? Because how much you want to bet that was Pete with a fake FBI badge? But that agent opened a real protected custody case. He's the main one over it. He'll tell you I'm innocent of everything. For the worst thing you ever did wrong, honey, is bend over and probably we can wipe that one out. They only made fun of back of my knees. The first month of the case, they were using sodium pentothal on me. Truth serum to get the truth out of me. It's a lethal outlaw drug. You say yes to anything. Date rape drugs. Like I said, there's over 300 in the different combinations. You're sleepwalking for 4 to 6 hours. You're a zombie with no memory. My one coworker, Dar, got taken from a bar and raped and raised in somebody's kid. Left with a group of people she didn't know she left with. My neighbor, Mike, got roofied. Didn't know how he got home from the bar. Didn't know he went to the bank or when he ate and how he changed his shoes. You're sleepwalking for 4 to 6 hours. You're a human zombie that will react, talk. You ever watch Law and Order Special Victims Group? Half their shows are women walking in, I don't know what happened to me. And I said, that's normal. What do you remember? I had a drink at a bar. I went out to eat with someone. I don't know how I got home. And that person had been raped. They have to follow the street cams, the outside cameras of businesses to find out where they took them. And they willingly went. Because they were drugged and had no idea what they were doing. It happens all the time. You're sleepwalking for 4 to 6 hours. That retired Judge Pete told everybody he was Karen's will. He was, I was his girlfriend. And he thought I was beautiful. This is his mad fit. When I started blocking the bedroom door, the harassment started. When I started blocking the house door and he can't get in, the harassment's endless because he's angry. Because he don't want to date me. He don't want to get to know me. He just wants his sex life back under drugs. And this is his temper tantrum. Across from my client on Turquoise Street, they already know that, they made up everything on me. Police have been out there talking to him since last June. To stay out of this, they already knew the tapes before were them and not me, and they were looking for who did it. Okay? Well, they said that they were outside and said someone threatened them. Said they were going to go tell on him. We already knew they made up everything on him. Told the teenage kid to watch his sister the other day. They're out there threatening him if they open their mouth. They went and told on him. See, Edith Oakland apartment, December 9, 21, 4 p.m. They told him everything was drugged and photoshopped. My client on Chapel Church Road, March of last year, of 22. They told her Judge Pete photoshopped and date rape drugged and made everything up on me. And she went to the place. The guy at the Hunger Task Force, December 9, 21, white man, bald with dark eyes, distributing food, can't found him. Everything was drugged and photoshopped before. May 12th, 22, Bubba's Restaurant, 6-8 men, my car's phone. They found a tape of them emitting a shower scene in the other room. My phone's tapped from being an informant. May 26th, 22 at noon, the shower scene was done on purpose. Just like January 1922, Department of Disability, they told them I was drugged and told to say it before. February 2nd, 22, a Latino guy personally admitted to drugging me and telling me to say stuff before people went running. That retired judge, the protected custody case, that agent opened, he sold it, made $25 a pop. They were talking about in Walmart because he's calling himself well. What the hell happened to that agent? He knew there was a hit on the baby's life. They played with their vehicles. Huh? Where'd he go? He heard Dave. Where'd he go? I had 6 stalkers inside Walmart 62 come at me. If I wouldn't have been in protected custody where they had security and undercover officers watching me, they had to chase them off or tackle them. They would come at me. They hired 6 stalkers. I almost got shot in the head driving. There's a shooting night before Christmas 18. They literally break into the duplex next door because it's so dark. They actually did go to the wrong house. I get raped and tortured between July and September 19, midnight to 3. The fake agent did it. He's in Faith Family Church and about 4 or 5 other fake agents. They talk about the case, sell it. Michelle's even in there. Dixie knew Michelle, my daughter-in-law. Said, we talked about Michelle. She knew her. And I mentioned Judge Pete. She went, and I said, oh, I knew about him. She said, I always thought it was ridiculous what they did to you for him to go out with someone else. But that agent opened a real case, had an officer talk to Dave the requirements of the Department of Justice. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements. You can't look or listen. Your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend cannot hire a stalker. Set up button cameras while you're out and stalk you and it be used against you. The 4th Amendment over the house. You have a right to privacy, safe and secure your own home. You also have a right to remain quiet and a right to an attorney. Do you know in a jail, your attorney shows up. You have a right to your attorney and counsel. They have to turn off the tapes and the audio. So you could sit there and confess to murder to your attorney and they can't tape it. Your attorney, by client privileges, they can't tell you. They'll get disbarred. And they can't tape it inside a jail. See, we actually, where I told Dave, we don't live in a communist country. We actually don't. We live in an amazing country. People die trying to get here because no one can hurt us like this. Like all the police say, no one had a right to tape her unaware in her home. They can't look or listen. So they're illegal tapes that they have admitted to photoshopping shower scenes, admitted that they were sodium pentothal on me, Dave raped, drugging me, and they told me to say it before. They started back on May 25th, 21, 6 p.m. of the church people breaking in before drugging me and telling me to say weirdo molester stuff. That it wasn't funny. Dave was manipulating several women up there. One of them was a fat blonde girl. She came down on Fairlawn Street. Now, after May 25th, 21, that Saturday or Sunday afterwards, my car sparked. Screamed at the goons from Ravenna. Are you crazy? You can't enter a drug confession. Well, we just found out they drugged her and told her what to say before. 8/9/21, the apartment building for me, second close offense. A lady and little girls live there. They rented out Dave. A police officer with a badge and a clipboard showed up. And the neighbor said she was drugged and told us to say it before. Then that African-American lady, November 2nd or 3rd, 21 in Save-A-Lot. I found out it was all them and not her, and they made everything up on her. And all those tapes before were them. Nobody better say a word. And then at the Oakland apartment, the guy at the Hunger Task Force, and then on. And people went to the police and investigators. They already knew I was drugged and framed in stocking tapes and didn't know who did it. And Dave finally confessed, April 15th or 16th, 23, that he had hired some guy named Pete on his own, and he was the one taping me unaware and doing all those things. My ex-husband's girlfriend's father is messed up in that drug cartel. They pulled the lease of that duplex after the house on John Thomas. The men on the other side of the duplex in September 18th, they had a copy on my phone and were outside mocking me. What's he saw? Under the notes of me, where I was making a crossword puzzle. It's called wiretapping. It's a federal crime. I bet they're part of the Detroit Boys. See, they could never look or listen. All the police said, we could never look or listen. No one had a right to tape you unaware in your home. It's considered sextortion. There's a real name for what they're doing to me. You tape someone unaware. You tape them in bed. Alex even admitted that they were watching. He was a big Karen fan, watching her in bed with Dave make love. That's sex trafficking videos. They were taping me in the bathroom. That's sex trafficking. They sold it. Photoshopping the shower scene in the other room trying to extort money is called sextortion, where you try to get money out of your illegal takes. There's actually federal laws that get to stop this. They obtained and dispensed kiddie porn of my grandkids peeing in the bathroom. You do realize that. Do you realize how long they're going to go to jail for saying they taped everybody in the bathroom? Do you realize how long they're going to go to jail for saying they taped me unaware in my home, let alone tape me and Dave naked and in bed and sold it? Do you realize where that judge hacked into the real protected custody case that agent opened? He sold FBI information. They're not in trouble for having it, but that's selling police information. It's 13 years. Huh? What the hell happened to that agent? The men that watched me from the protected custody case, see, police in uniform actually mentioned the protected custody case. They helped work it. I had my own security team. I worked at CSE Bank in 19 and 20. They would be in the back in the Camp Police column officers. They were in front of the North Canton Jackson Police. June of 19 told them the worst thing I ever did wrong, honey, is bend over improperly. That when they found back my niece, they verified it in the house. That old man showed up the first month and said he sodium pentothal me and told me wrong nightgown and butt line, and I had Dave debunk it in the house. See, you lie under drugs. But they were admitting to drugging me up in front of the investigator. And I told you, those two young undercover police officers, we interviewed her family a long time ago. She's never heard anybody, and nobody ever seen anything. They interviewed him in 18. They went in undercover. How much you want to bet they were a new trainee at work or went to a party and just sat and talked about families? And that way they didn't have to involve them in an attempted murder case and got their information. That's what they do undercover. They just go in and talk to you in a normal setting. And that way they don't have to pull you into the police station. And they'll tell you I'm innocent of everything. They've been telling people for years, stay out of this. She's never heard anybody, and nobody's ever seen anything. February to March of 23 by the hair salon, they're in there yelling at those people again. They were the ones that laughed at Dave for get a gun, you don't know what's going on, get a gun, Karen, oh my God, get in the car. I told him he was scared of him to beat him with my purse. Some poor man just pulled in next to us. Too afraid to get out of his car. That idiot's out in the middle of Walmart parking lot. Oh my God, you don't know what's going on, get in the car. And people are walking by. I'm like, no. He's like, you don't know what's going on. Oh my God, Karen, get in that car. I'm like, no. And I'm like, if you're scared of him, beat him. And he's like, where's that gun? And he's digging through my purse. I had a concealed carry purse. I don't keep the clip in the gun for safety. It's like, it's not together. He's like, where is it? And I said, it's not together. If you're scared of him, beat him with my purse. People are walking by and he's making a damn fool out of himself. He thought one of the guys he hired pulled in next to him. And that man was so afraid. This idiot's yelling, get a gun. He wouldn't get out of his car. Those undercover police officers were laughing at him. She told him to beat him with her purse. I know. Come on, we can't be seen with her. They interviewed my family in 18. They'd come up and say your whole family spoke highly of you. That's where they've been telling everybody in 21 and 23, stay out of this. We interviewed her family a long time ago. She's never heard anyone and nobody's ever seen anything. See, and then they found Mel's kids lying on Thanksgiving of 18 in protected custody. That they were making everything up, that they wanted Michelle and Papa to get the house. They're documenting me in jokes. Or documented me games of pretend. Flora ratted them out October 23rd, 2019. Of course, it never happened. Of course, it wasn't true. We made it up. They were games of pretend. She's laughing sick shit. Because the whole family's messed up. I'm going to go ahead and upload this. But people need to realize how stupid they are. Retired Judge Pete's a serial rapist. And he became attached all the times he raped me. And now he's having a mad fit having people harass me because I won't move that refrigerator.